Well, the voting is done, the counting is almost over, and the full shape of the 34th Dáil has emerged. Tonight, political parties are taking stock and considering their positions ahead of the first round of potential government formation talks. Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael, Sinn Féin, they're all holding separate parliamentary party meetings on Wednesday. Well, this is the lie of the land right now. We can see that Fianna Fáil have 46 seats, Sinn Féin 39, Fine Gael just one behind them on 38. The Green Party, sole TD there. Labour and Soc Dems have 11 seats apiece. People Before Profit Solidarity have 3, Aontú on 2. Independent Ireland have 4 seats and Independence 16. And the 100% redress candidate in Donegal has 1 seat. Well, with the first of our reports this evening, here's our political correspondent, Paul Cunningham.
The roar said it all. The Fianna Fáil Agriculture Minister had defied some predictions that he was out for the count. Instead, he took the last seat in Donegal, the second for his party, and edged out independent TD Thomas Pringle.
A lot of headwinds in terms of my own side of the county in particular, particularly as a result of the defective concrete block issue, but I was very glad to hold the vote that I had.
But where there are winners, there are also losers. Fianna Fáil's Health Minister Stephen Donnelly lost out in Wicklow, and one of the longest serving TDs lost his seat in Kildare North.
Because everybody congratulated me, thanked me for what I'd done, and assured me that I was a shoo-in. There's no such thing as a shoo-in in politics.
In Cork North Central, sitting TD Mick Barry was 35 votes behind Labour's Owen Kenny. He secured a recount, but then conceded defeat.
We're not going to stay here until midnight just for the sake of it. It's clear the direction in which things were going, and on that basis we called for the recount to end.
With coalition formation already being discussed, Labour says it will drive a hard bargain in any negotiation, but will consider going into government.
I feel very strongly on that you have to go in with an open mind, you have to go into negotiations on the basis that you fully intend to, if you can meet all red lines and requirements and conditions, you should consider going into government.
Given Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael could be 2 or 3 seats away from a majority by themselves, independent TDs are keen to show they're interested in doing business.
If the phone rings, I'll answer it. But there's other colleagues that I'd like to talk to as well that in the regional group. But it's a numbers game, and we'll see what will be the third cog of the government.
Sinn Féin says its deputies will meet on Wednesday to discuss strategy, and it's written to the Social Democrats and Labour for talks too.
We're going to discuss options both within the party and with the Soc Dems, with Labour and with other progressive deputies, and then we'll take things from there.
Given the plethora of talks due to take place now, a new government won't be in place before Christmas.
I don't expect a government to be formed in mid-December when the Dáil is due to meet on the 18th of December. Probably a Count Corla will be elected, and there'll have to be time and space taken to make sure we can form a coherent, stable government.
The talks may be about to begin this week, but the process, well, it's going to take some time to complete. Paul Cunningham, RT News.
Well, the very last of election 2024 is playing out in Cavan Leisure Centre in the constituency of Cavan Monaghan, where the final 2 seats are expected to be filled in the coming hours. Sinn Féin brought 2 candidates across the line. Fine Gael won, and our correspondent Conor McCauley is about to tell us where the final 2 seats are expected to go. Conor, you're still standing there.
Still smiling, Sharon. Yes, we're really in the end game here, I think, now at the moment. About an hour ago, Cathy Bennett of Sinn Féin was elected, replacing her incumbent running mate, Pauline Tully. That leaves us with 3 candidates contesting the remaining 2 seats. Now, the expectation is that Brendan Smith and Niamh Smith, both Fianna Fáil incumbents, will be returned to those seats. Sarah O'Reilly of Aontú could technically overtake one of them, but I don't think there's any realistic prospect of that happening, and she's not here. So it's very much a case of, as you were in this constituency on the way out of this election, we're going to have 2 Sinn Féin, 2 Fianna Fáil and 1 Fine Gael in the shape of David Maxwell. And the expectation now is that after more than 40 hours of counting in this constituency, we're about finally to bring the shutters down on the Cavan Monaghan constituency and on the entire general election of 2024.
Conor McCauley, thank you. Well, a coalition involving the two centrist parties of Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael and another bloc seems the most obvious route to power. The question is, with whom would they align to form that third or even fourth leg of government? Will it be a coalition with the centre-left or independents? Our regional reporter Theresa Mannion has been talking to some of those newly re-elected independents.
The potential coalition dynamics are only beginning, but newly elected Longford Westmeath independent Kevin Boxer Moran was clear that he wants to govern and his door is open.
If you think 6 months ago where I was and where I am today, back in the Dáil, it's an enormous feeling. But I do know negotiations have to take place. I don't know am I going to be part of them, I don't know I'm not. But I suppose to you the question you're going to ask, yes, the phone will ring. With the help of God, we'll look at that when it comes to it. But it's going to be 3 or 4 days, I think, before we get the right tallies, the right figures to see where we're going. But look, my door is open. Someone knocks, I'm always there to open it.
In Galway, independent poll toppers Sean Canny and Catherine Connolly were considering their options.
I believe that there are a cohort of independents, like-minded independent TDs who have been elected and re-elected to the Dáil, who have experience of being in government and also have the experience of what's happening on the ground. And I think it would be a good fit for Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael to come to us and see can we agree a programme for government.
At some stage there must be a change on the road to Damascus, if I can use that phrase. I'm waiting for it. In the meantime, my role is to stand up and articulate what people are saying to me on the ground.
So it sounds like you know that you will be a powerful voice in opposition rather than a member of
I will take whatever role I can, but I don't think that Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael are going to seriously engage with me in relation to a radical change in housing policy, in relation to using our neutrality as a powerful voice for peace in the world, stop the troops in Shannon. I don't think that's going to happen. Should they, I would absolutely be delighted to listen to them.
Independent TD Marion Harkin took the fourth and final seat for Sligo Leitrim. She wants to be in power.
It does seem as if Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael are within shouting distance of having an overall majority. That means they will be looking for support, and I certainly will be one of those people who will be speaking to them and talking to them and negotiating with them. And I'm looking forward to doing that, because that was the reason that I ran in the first place.
The number needed to form a majority in the new Dáil is 88. Whether it's independents or others will take some time and a lot of talking. Theresa Mannion, RTE News.
Our political correspondent Micheál Lehane has more on all of this. So we know the shape of the next Dáil, Micheál. What we don't know is the exact, precise shape of the next government.
No, but what we can see are those big blocks of Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael. Fianna Fáil, we think, on 48 in the end. Fine Gael on 38. That's too short of the majority, but I mean, you'd need more than 2. You probably would need 8 on top of that to have a comfortable buffer that could withstand the inevitable shocks and losses along the way. And I suppose there are 2 options then. One is to look to independence. I think there is a view among some in the bigger parties that there aren't a whole lot of independents that you could fully bank on to go the distance. And so there might be some reluctance, initially at least, to go that route, but it's definitely not ruled out. And I suppose there will be talks with the independents along the way. Many believe that the preferred option would be a party. Before all that, Labour and the Social Democrats are going to talk to each other first. That'll take some weeks. You heard there in Paul Cunningham's report, Alan Kelly did seem open to the idea of going into government. But I think if that were to happen, that would take some time and that would be a slow process. The next real step in all of this is when the parliamentary parties meet this week. And I suppose it's there in the Fianna Fáil and the Fine Gael one that they could get a mandate, that is the leaders, to begin some engagement. If that happens, there will be limited engagement, I understand, before Christmas, and real negotiations would take place afterwards. All the while, in the background, Sinn Féin has made moves today to talk to the Social Democrats and Labour to explore options. Now, I think what that is, they say the numbers are with Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael, but what if the obvious didn't happen? What would happen then? And what if the independents support Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael? Should other parties in the Dáil then work together? But I suppose this will take time. and there are some who believe that it might take until February. There is one other final dynamic, and that is the fact that there is that gap in seats between Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael this time. What will that mean? The rotating Taoiseach, that probably has to stay on the table, but could it create a degree of friction that wasn't there before?
Very interesting. Mial, thank you.